For more than 35 years, Technisoft has maintained its strong vision to be a leader in developing world-class service maintenance software for Sage 300. Technisoft's suite of cloud applications have been designed for service industries to keep management, employees, and customers connected in real time from wherever they may be. This allows management to maintain a 360-degree view of their productivity and profitability, but most importantly, provide exceptional customer support. This demonstration will run through the features of our latest addition to the Technisoft's product suite, Technisoft Discover. Technisoft Discover was created to bring dashboards to life using simple or complex queries from within your Sage 300 cloud database. Key performance data can be highlighted in real time to improve business decision-making. The way this works is through Discover's flexible and customizable query engine, mining data to find the specific key metrics and information required to be reported. Let's begin by creating a few queries to show the power of the system and understand how we generated these dashboards. We create a new query by selecting the New Query button on the top right of the screen, which raises the Select a Query floating window. This window shows all of our installed Sage 300 modules and the queries available to us as a user. All of these queries can be securitized so they are only seen by the appropriate person within the organization. We're going to start with a complex general ledger query, as this is a question us at Technisoft often get asked how to do, and we need a powerful query engine to help. Say we're trying to find a specific journal which was posted, and we're unable to find it based on its entry number, but we're aware of some of its details contained within. For starters, we might know that its amount was between $1,000 and $2,000. So we include this criteria for journal source amount between those values and run that as our initial query. Straight away, we see that a lot of data has been returned that match the range of values we applied. So we will need to apply additional criteria to this query to refine the records in our data set. You're able to combine as many of these criteria together to build the complex search you need. So to help us refine this list of records, we can combine criteria and also look for the account. I can use the filter in the criteria search bar to search for the term account. I'm not 100% sure of the exact account number, so I will use this contain search and enter 4,000 in the field, as I know it was in the 4,000 series. So while that has restricted the result set quite significantly, there are still too many journals and entries there to have to scroll through to find the record I'm looking for. So I will add a third criteria to the search. I know that I posted this journal in December 2020. So again, I use the filter to find date criteria and select the option Journals with line date. I put in my date range from the 1st to the 31st of December 2020. When we proceed with this search, the entry we are looking for has been returned. Now from this entry, we can drill directly into the GL journal entry and find the information I was looking for so I can continue with my workflow. This is just one example of how you can use Discover. Let's now create another query to show how you can have multiple queries running at the same time. So we use the New Query button again, and this time we're going to run a purchase order query. So we can use the filter to refine the list to orders and select the purchase orders search. The purchase order related criteria display. Previously, we were on the GL journal search query, but now we're on the PO orders search query. So our criteria has changed to be purchase order related. This time, we are looking for an outstanding entry. So we scroll through the list to find the criteria that's marked as outstanding. I'm going to include that and run this query. The results return 37 rows, which is still a little too much to have to scroll through. So to restrict that number down, we will add a secondary criteria as the arrival due date. I'm looking for something that was due to arrive in June that hasn't arrived yet. So in the purchase orders with line arrival date criteria, we set the date range from the 1st to the 30th of June. Select Run, and a single result was returned, which is the purchase order I was looking for. Drill into the purchase order knowing this is the one with the outstanding line. We can contact the vendor to chase them up and then continue with our workflow. So multiple queries can be created at any time to search any part of your Sage system to find the information you need when you need it most. You can toggle between these open searches and rerun them or modify them in some way. Say, if you wish to see all records between these dates and values, but not refined to just the 4,000 accounts, you can simply remove the criteria for account and rerun the query again. So this is a live system that can be used continuously as you need. The next thing in Discover that we will cover is the use of the saved queries. We start with another new query and we'll use a previously saved query for accounts receivable customer search. Notice here that not only do we have the criteria, but we also have a list of the queries I've previously saved. I can save queries together into groups. In this case, I'm going to choose the broad saved query for customers with outstanding balance. Part of the power here, once you have the query run and results returned in the grid, is the ability for the grid to provide more functionality, such as being able to group the data. Say I wish to group on account type. I've also added in some aggregates, so the customer number column provides a count of the grouped records, and if we scroll across, I have the min, max, sum, and average on the functional or customer balances due. As I group by my account type, I see those sums, min, maxes, and averages per group, and down the very bottom I have the total of all values together. I can export this list out to Excel or PDF in order to produce this as a report to those who might need it, or save a copy for myself. If I export to Excel, then grouping and other grid functionality is transferred across to the Excel sheet. I can continue my work in there if I need. So what I would now like to show you is how we can take this saved query and turn it into a dashboard. Coming back to the dashboards panel, I'm currently running my accounts payable dashboard. I can create as many dashboards as I need in order to show all of the different areas of data that I have access to and would like to see broken up to highlight different pieces of information most relevant to me. Although I have my accounts payable information visible at the moment, I can switch to my general ledger dashboard, understanding that I named that dashboard and it's not something built into the system. I simply double click and my dashboard changes to show my general ledger information. I have Technisoft Service Manager installed and I'm using that product, so I've created a general Service Manager dashboard and I can open up that too. As I'm going through, I can quickly switch to the dashboard that relates to the workflow I'm doing right now, or I can leave the one open that makes sense to me as needed. I can configure each of my dashboards independently. I can determine their name, how many dashboard panels I get, as well as the refresh minutes if I would like them to automatically refresh for me. I can manually refresh the whole panel at any time just by clicking the refresh button. Notice all of the data has been refreshed. I will now use our saved AR customer search to create a new dashboard panel. So I'm going to switch over to my accounts receivable dashboard. I already have an empty panel here, which we will use, and I get to decide whether we configure this data as a chart or a grid. we will configure this panel as a chart. So now we need to select the saved query we created to generate the dashboard data. It's important to remember running the query engine and saving a query is what powers the dashboards. Those queries will then get rerun each time my dashboard is drawn, and it will use that current resulting data to do that. I remember we put the term outstanding in our saved query, so I can enter that into the filter to refine the results and select the customers with outstanding balance saved search. Now we get to configure what the chart will display and how it will look. It has pre-populated the title from the saved query, but of course we can rename that. I want this dashboard chart to show the balance by state, so I'm going to rename the dashboard title. I have multiple chart types here, but in this case, I'm going to use a column chart. As with all charts, we have an X and a Y axis to show the value of the data in the chart based on the type of information. I wish to group the information in this case by state. I would like to show the sum, and although I have other values here I could use if they were relevant, since I am showing the sum, I will only see number fields here. I would like to see the functional balance due. I can preview the chart to determine if this is the appropriate data I would like displayed on my dashboard. I can change the style. Say I might like to switch to a line chart, for example. Re-hit the preview button, and yes, that's exactly what I was looking for. So I can now go ahead and save that. My dashboard panel has been updated to include this new chart, and you can now easily see my accounts receivable balances by state. So all of this was made up from that single query that was created. Now that we have a few dashboards created and open here, let's explore what else Technisoft Discover can do with that information. In the bottom grids here, we see our customer records. We can double click on a single record to open the AR customer screen. I can also use the hyperlink, and there may be more than one hyperlink in a single grid to drill to different areas of the Sage system. As we can see here in my aged accounts receivable, I currently have $304,000 owing in my aged 30 to 60 days. When I hover over that series, I can see additional information, like there are 18 records included here. So if I would like to have a closer look at what those records are, I can simply double click the series, which opens and runs the saved query powering that dashboard, and the filter is applied to only show those records with document age between 30 to 60 days outstanding. Here is the list of those 18 records with invoices aged 30 to 60 days. The entire query has run, so I am able to clear the filter and get the entire list of outstanding invoices that have a balance. So this is where you can again use the grid features. I could come over and find the document age column and drag it up to group the grid. So I'm actually now back looking at that same data that was available in the dashboard, but in grid format, without having to build and rerun the query over and over again. Technisoft Discover also includes a designer tool that allows users to create custom queries if the standard queries aren't sufficient. Designer allows custom queries to all Sage 300 cloud modules as well as third-party development products. So this is just some of the power of the Technisoft Discover product. If you would like to know more about Technisoft's suite of applications, or if you would like to see a demonstration of the products working to suit your business workflows, then please visit our website or send us an email. Thank you for your time.